Hey, 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 everybody, welcome back. It's another beautiful Wednesday. That's right, it's only a little cloudy, getting sunny, but it's a wonderful Wednesday. It is episode number 37 of the Real Deal Pod with Allister and Geoff. And I am back here with my main man, Geoff. How are you, buddy? How you doing?
I am doing well. 23 more days till Christmas.
Is that the countdown now? Is that what we're at?
I
I
just
haven't
did
started
some quick
counting.
math. I might be off a day or two, but let's go with 23 days.
Oh, baby.
23 days till Christmas. That's only weeks and a little bit of change to go. And no snow yet. It's
I
crazy.
know, right? We're supposed to get it. I actually think we're supposed to get it tonight, they were saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
From what I understand is that the mountains, though, are getting huge amounts of snow.
they're
So,
getting their snow. Yes, they are getting their snow.
which is
What
great.
was I had a client? I had a client of mine that went up, yeah, on the weekend. He went up on the weekend to do some boarding. He said it was pretty good.
Yeah, I hear
I'm too old to do that.
Baker's opening day, they had like 36, I want to say inches, it could be centimeters, but they
That's
just had
crazy.
a big, huge pow day up there on their
Oh, well,
opening day. I know
lucky them.
Whistler opened a week early. Um,
Yeah.
I have my Epic Pass this year. That's
Do
a
you?
5 day pass. And I think Whistler just rolled out their daily pricing. If you don't have an Epic Pass, $330 to ski if don't have a pass of some sort.
Get your pass, people. That is redonkulous.
$330 for one person. So you imagine a family of four?
That's crazy, man. It ain't
Yeah.
cheap to ski no more.
Well, but I think a Whistler pass is, and don't shun me because I'm just kind of paraphrasing here. I think a Whistler pass is just north of 1,200 bucks, which
Okay,
is
so
very reasonable for a
that's
World
what I'm saying.
500.
That's not bad at all for an entire season,
Yeah,
right? And then like because you're gonna probably go more than four times,
you
right?
would think.
So do you would think. So if you just do the math, four times four or four times 330, right, is more than $1,200.
Yeah, yeah. I
Right? So
think the
that's
5 day Epic pass is just over 500 bucks, right? So
right. That's
yeah,
yeah. No, it's yeah, get your pass and enjoy the and take the time to enjoy it. Listen, again, growing up in Winnipeg, we had our big skiing place was Spring Hill or Agassiz Mountain, which wasn't really a mountain. It was like just a big big ditch, like a
it
big
was a
hill,
bump in the road.
a big bump, right? So being out here, like take the we got mountains out here, man. Take advantage of that. There's a lot of great things. Cross country skiing.
Yeah,
I learned to do when I was a kid in Manitoba, right? That's pretty cool too.
yeah,
Um, so take advantage of all the crazy stuff you can do out here. It's amazing.
yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Anything to do on the weekend, Geoff, before we crack into it? I didn't do much, man. My weekend was pretty tame. I loved it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what's been going on with me, but on Saturday I ran 17 kilometers and did two heavy grinds and 17K. The next day I said, you know what? I'm gonna do 21K and it ended up doing three grinds and the 21K. So I don't know, a little bit psychosis over here with like, you know what? I just gotta put some mileage in before the Christmas season and then torture my body in a different way. Food and
That's
alcohol.
awesome. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Man, I have a question for you though. I
Yeah.
wanted to know how the mortgage industry feels about change and technological change because I always joke around with real estate is that they still do business like it's 1970s with places in shag carpet and dudes in bad polyester suits. Um, but but I was reading an article recently that was actually talking about how, for the first time, real estate is being receptive to change and really embracing AI in our industry. And I was wondering, is it doing the same thing in the mortgage industry? How does the mortgage industry react to change?
I think with most industries, unless they're IT,
Yeah,
always are more proactive than reactive. Or sorry, are always more
reactive.
reactive than
Uh,
proactive. right?
Okay.
So I'll even use the insurance industry as an
Sure.
example. The insurance industry, I have a couple people, a couple of friends which are within that industry, and it's an archaic dinosaur as far as
Mhm.
workflows and systems. But again, they had to get reactive in their workflows and their systems because of COVID. And because of COVID, they kind of stepped up and started using technology. And from what I understand, brought themselves back into, the 20th century. I know on the mortgage side, again, there are some lenders out there. Neo Financial is a very proactive lender that uses technology. There's Rocket Mortgages that are out in the US
US. Yeah.
and as well as in Canada that uses a lot of technology. Um, I think we're going to see a lot more of it, right? So
Well, it's super, it's extremely necessary, but like I know on the real estate end, it like not even just the boards itself that are reticent to changes. It's even the realtors themselves. Like
yeah,
it's when we talk about um, using professional photos, for example, right? There's a lot of realtors out there that are still, or not a lot so much anymore. I beg your pardon. We have finally maybe gotten to the place where we're not seeing as many iPhone photos, and we're on a listing as opposed to professional photos. But we've been talking. So I've been now in this game since 2016. Yes, that's right, because I'm coming up to my relicensing this year. But when I first got into this industry, I remember them telling me, you got to get on video. You got to do video. It's so important that you do video. This is the new way of doing business. Well, we're out in 2024. And the funniest thing is, I am now that person preaching to new agents that they have to do video because so few realtors are using video. So even just like that's what I mean, even just the utilization from your photos taken of your properties to the videos to videos being utilized not just to market the properties but just to market as an agent, it's still not being done. So just the fact that they're starting to embrace AI so much, that was the part that I thought they would be so hesitant to embrace, because you have, let's be honest, you have older realtors, right, that are, that are not technology verse, right, technologically verse, right? So even you see a lot of these realtors actually now embracing AI and understanding how much easier now it's starting to make their job. So it's really neat to see that, okay, we as an industry, yeah, we may not be using videos and we may not be always taking those photos, but we're starting to see technology help us and to
yeah,
not run away from it, but to embrace it. So AI has been obviously the biggest thing with, just visual enhancements, client interaction. Document analysis is now becoming a big one. And that's why I think that realtors are becoming reticent to embrace the technology, because reading Stratadocs is brutal. It is a brutal undertaking. And it's actually nerve wracking too, because you got to think, if you miss something, right, it could severely impact your client's usage, right? So
yeah.
just the document review itself.
And I think the older we are, the harder it is to embrace technology. I think
It is.
for a younger generation, they're always a little bit more adapt to it. I'll be even speaking for myself. We use ChatGPT all the time,
Yeah.
but for us to actually recognize how much it made your life easier took some time for an old 54-year-old guy to actually start using it.
Yeah.
And you can use AI for videos, you can use AI for messaging, you can use AI for creating content, you can use
Mm-hmm.
doing PowerPoint presentations. And when you get the understanding on how these AI tools can actually leverage your time and make you become more efficient, it's like, yeah, why haven't I been using these? But But just like these, like our industries, the real estate industry, the industry, the insurance industry, the finance, these are dinosaur industries that are now that get stuck in their way, get stuck in how they do things. But like I say, it takes that handful of innovators within that industry to start doing what they're doing, and then everybody seems to follow,
to
right?
start catching up. And that's what I was going to say. That's why I always say it's very important in an industry that could be considered quote unquote, of course I'm doing the air quotes, archaic, right? To find those people within that archaic business or that archaic framework that are utilizing technology to help boost their business
Yeah.
within, right?
I,
Because myself for AI, right? I've been using Chat GPT since the day it launched, and that was because a guy in my office, a colleague in my office that I know very well, he says, Alice, I was walking by his office. He's like, Alistair, come here, look at this. He goes, this just came out today, and I said, look at what this can do. I was like, holy cow. And then I went home and started playing with it. So that's the only reason why I jumped on it so quick. But if you listen to past pods from us, right, you'll hear me talk about how I can't get down with TikTok, right? So I'm still that 48-year-old, right, that still has to embrace technology and embrace different frameworks, right, and make sure that I'm staying on top of that, because that's the only way that you can keep your business productive. Like, one of the biggest things that I've been using it for recently, and that was one of the things that this article was talking about, was predictive analysis, because so much of the real estate business is reactive. Anytime we're talking about stats with people, we're talking about what happened last month. We're talking about what happened last year. We're talking about what happened 3, 5, 10 years ago, right? So my communication over the past 6 months has been focused on predictive analysis. And what is this going to look like tomorrow, next month, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Because what benefit, really? I mean, and yes, history, and I have a history minor. History is super important, but history is important because you want to not fail at things, right? You want to know what's going to benefit you in the future, right? So that's why I utilize predictive analysis a lot. But it's just so interesting, right? To see.
Yeah. And they're using and creating like AI for legal documents. They're creating
That's what I say.
AI,
Regulatory compliance, 100%.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
I always tell people though, you have to be also cautious as far as what it spits out, and always be very, very careful that that's kind of like your first draft.
No, that's
You
yes.
need to go through it and make sure that what is being outputted is actually factual, because if you're in
Well,
Canada, it might be spitting out rules, regulations in the US and vice versa, right? So
and
so
that's the
there
thing to
there
understand the
are some of
framework.
us that will just take it as gospel
Yeah.
and just move forward, which is very, 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 very dangerous to do.
Well, no, no, no. And that's the thing to understand, right? Because you got to understand too that a lawyer's office, their AI technology, okay, is going to be different than the chat GPT technology that you're using. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be different AI in the real estate industry that is versus what the public AI that it utilizes. And that's where I'm talking about. Like, I'm happy that the real estate industry is taking on AI to build it within its framework. And it will be specific to the real estate industry. The mortgage industry won't be utilizing the same AI technology that we have. You'll be using a different one for your industry, right? Just like, and we won't be using that. And then we'll all have that general Google or Chat GPT. And so that's the important thing for just us as normal people, right? That think it's great. Be careful what you put it in, because to your point, right, we are using a generalized version of these things, right? So it's all broad based.
And these AI tools get smarter on their own with
Yep.
the information that you put into
That
it,
you put in. So no
and
personal.
all
Do
and
not
also
put in
how
credit
you're using
cards.
it as you're
No, no,
moving forward. It
exactly.
gets smarter and smarter and smarter. It's really
It's
crazy.
wild. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But so that's exactly it. Do not put in credit cards. Do not put in social insurance numbers. Do not put in any type of private information that you've got. Do not put it into these things, because it is literally concentrating your information and delivering it out all over the place. right? So it's all that's why with AI, right? I don't use Chat GPT to read my Stratadocs, as some people will suggest, right? I send it to Terra Firma, right? They're a company that utilizes AI to read it, but it's a law firm, right? So they're using their law AI, their lawyer AI, in order to read through the Stratadocs and make sure they're proper. And it's a paid, and it's something that I pay for, right, in order to have done.
And I would imagine that they're also insured and bonded and
Insured and bonded and all that because they're lawyers, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not Chat GPT that comes up with some weird legal disclaimer of yeah, this is done by Chat GPT, verificate that. No, the lawyers have read it, and they'll stand behind it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I think if people don't embrace artificial intelligence in some way, um, they're going to be left behind in especially in business
Yep.
100%. In your
Yeah.
personal life, maybe not so much,
No,
right?
no, no.
But in your business life, if you really want to advance, if you
So
really want to grow, um, you know what? It's a no-brainer. Like even
exactly.
on the personal side, I want to lose 25 pounds. Give me a 3 month schedule on exercise and diet in order for me to do that. That thing will spit
We'll
out something
spit out
for
some
you within 15
100%.
seconds.
Exactly. You gone now. Do you have to pay a personal trainer to yell at you in the gym and teach you the couple of things? You can let Chat GPT tell you what you need to do and go to the gym. You do it yourself. You save yourself what, $400 an hour, whatever some crazy
I
fitness
still
coach.
need that accountability partner though. Thank
I
you,
know.
ChatGPT, but you're not holding me accountable by showing up and
You want me to yell at you, Jeff? You can. I'll pay. I'll do it for $500 an hour. I'll yell at you.
maybe not 500 an hour, but we'll talk.
All right, deal. So what else, man? What else? What else you got for us?
Well, this is talking about advanced technology. Worked on a file about a green home, and I think you
Okay.
worked on one and
I did
another.
recently. I sold
Yeah,
one here in Langley. Yep.
or they're called green homes or net zero homes,
Net zero
and
site. Yeah.
and it's also it's actually again using natural technology in order to be a little bit to have a better impact on our
Yep.
environment, and the environment is such a big thing right now,
Mm-hmm.
um, politically and just as a moral kind of compass. And
Yeah. Just a pause on that. I heard. I read. Or I just glanced on an article that they're talking about the potential of new home builds in BC after 2030 not having natural gas.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is an initiative about these net zero homes or these green homes. And I just wanted to kind of, when we worked on this file, because it is a little bit new, it's something that we don't see all the time. And
Absolutely.
it was a kind of an opportunity for me to get a little bit more educated in it. And I was like, you know what? This would be a real good thing to kind of talk about these net zero homes or these green homes. Um, because
They're
they
neat because
are
that was the
going,
first one I sold. That was the
yeah,
first one I had sold too. They're neat. Yeah.
and they're going to become more and more relevant,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
as we get deeper into, 2025, 2026, and moving forward, right? As we
Mm-hmm.
get more into properties and the building of properties and understanding what these properties and what people have as far as a carbon imprint and the initiative that government has taken on environment. Again, this is going to be a real thing. This is going to be a common thing. And this is something that if we can get a little bit ahead of the curve and have an understanding what a green home or a net zero home is
Home in. Yeah.
and how that works, always think it's a good conversation and good insight to have. So, Alistair, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Tell our folks what is a net zero home or a green home?
So a net zero home or quote unquote green home is a home that is basically completely eco and energy efficient. So
Okay.
it reduces your through the solar panels, your heat bill is reduced. If you have an irrigation system, right? The water system, then it'll be recycling your water, the rainwater, um, as well throughout the to grow your to grow your lawn and to feed water back into the home. Essentially, it takes away your bills.
Yeah,
That's what a net zero does. Takes away
exactly.
your bills.
Yeah, and you said it dead on. It's the use of solar panels.
Yeah,
It's the use of conservation
irrigation system.
systems
Yeah,
with water.
yeah,
It's the utilization of advanced insulation and windows.
yeah.
And we're seeing this already, energy efficient appliances, right? And as you said, it's taken away your monthly utility bills, right? Your monthly costs and making it um, efficient.
Net zero. Yeah, exactly.
Net
Yeah,
zero.
yeah.
And where I want to kind of start and leave with this is that, and I'll use my own home as an example. We put in some ductless heat pumps, and and this is where I go back to, the good, the better, and the best. So anything that I ever do, Alistair, I will always get three quotes, right?
Yeah, always should.
And so I was getting this heating system put into my house. I got my three quotes. All kind of came in the same price, but there was the difference between the three people that were giving me quotes was that one explained that there were government grants in place that could be utilized and rebated, right? And I think that
Uh-huh.
was up to $5,000 or $6,000.
Oh wow.
The other two did not. So where I was coming off of with this is number one, anything that you do, always get three quotes.
Always.
But depending on what you're doing and how that's looking like, always ask if there's grants, right?
Yeah.
There are so many government grants out there that basically people either don't know or people aren't told when they're putting in an electrical, like an EV charger in their home, and there's a grant that applies. Because, again, as a consumer, you don't know, but as that professional, you should know,
No. Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yep.
So again, when you guys are doing anything, when it comes to window insulation, when it comes to solar panels, when it comes to improving your windows, when it comes to improving your heating systems, your washer and dryer, always check to see if there's a grant, because you know what? It could be stuffing a lot of money back into your pocket, right?
100%. Yep.
And that's kind of really what I learned is that, there's tons of government grants out there. CMHC has a green initiative
Yep.
where they will take a look at these green homes. There's actually a green mortgage, and at times will offer you a sharper interest rate and other incentives that go along with it. But again, I wanted to touch on this just to say, hey, green homes, net zero homes, we don't hear a lot about them, but we're going to start.
No, we really are. Because like the one thing, like the property that I sold, they had their roof had 64 solar panels. They went to the max apparently, right? When I was going over the property with them. And I asked them like what made them choose that. And they were explaining, right, how like net zero and all of that sort of good stuff. And I remember talking about it with a colleague of mine who had a friend in the States that has a company. He's a realtor as well in the States, but he's got a company, a side hustle, so to speak, that sells solar panels. There's also another colleague that I know here in BC who's just started as a realtor, but she is currently selling solar panels as well.
Yeah.
Right. So you see that is becoming so much more of a market. It's becoming so much more of a market. Yeah, huge.
Yeah. Well, and again, one of our realtor friends was sharing with me that there's actually a development that's in the process, which is
Yep.
all going to be net zero,
All
right?
net zero. Yeah, all net zero is going to be that development, and that's to your point. That's I think what we're gonna see more and more developments come along with that, because what I guess the lenders are going to do is they're going to tie these green initiatives to the developments themselves. So if you buy into this home and you sign up with, let's say, RBC, you're going to get this X you're going to get this special type of mortgage. All it really is that green home initiative mortgage, but it's just marketed as a special mortgage for the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So they're
Yeah.
out there, folks. They're out there. So
Yeah.
again, that's what I got. I just wanted to touch on it. It
That's
was
super neat.
something,
Yeah.
something
No,
that
I
was
think
new
it's
to me, this week. And I was like, you know what? If this is new to me, this is going to be new to a lot of people. So
for sure.
let's chat about it.
I love it, man. So today what we learned about, we learned how technology is finally being adopted in real estate and in the mortgage industry. And if
In
you
every
are
industry.
in every industry, yes, in every industry. And if you are working with somebody that's still working in one of those archaic systems, make sure they are utilizing technology to further enhance their business, because if it's further enhancing their business, then it's going to further enhance you and yours. And then we also learned that, yeah, green homes are not just green home mortgages and green home initiatives, but green home properties themselves are the wave of the future. That is what we are going to see, because again, developers themselves, right, are going to be given government money and rebates for green home initiatives. So just the developments themselves are just going to go become green homes. So it makes sense that these green home mortgages are coming about, are starting to pop up and matriculate to the surface.
Yeah. And get 3 quotes.
Get 3 quotes. Always get 3 quotes.
Get three
In
quotes.
anything you do, please get 3. Yeah, please get 3. And don't go. What do we always say with the rates? Don't go for the pretty one.
Yeah.
Make sure you understand what's underneath the surface before you jump into bed with that sucker.
I always say it's like a personality.
Yep.
Right? Don't go by the good looks. Well, maybe go by the good looks, but make sure you know the personality, because you do not want to be getting into anything with something that looks good, has a bad personality, and at the end costs you hundreds to thousands of dollars.
This is what my mama said, Geoff. Looks don't age well. Personality does.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. If you
man.
take a look at all those great looking boys and girls, or men and women, when you're in high school, go creep on
Telling you,
them on
man.
Facebook and see how they look today. They don't look so good. No offense from anybody from Kamloops Senior Secondary, class of 19, I think 88. All the hotties back then, you're still hot now, but
that's what I mean. Shout out River East Collegiate, class of 1995. My girls are still rocking it. They're still beautiful. They still got it going on. That's because it's personality, baby. They're amazing. They're all amazing. Awesome, Geoff. Well, I guess we're going to shut her down for this episode. Thank you again, everybody, for listening. We always appreciate you listening and giving us your shout outs and your comments. And we always want to do better for you. We will be back here next Wednesday for episode number 38. And until then, stay informed, stay empowered, and most importantly, Geoff,
stay in tune.
Stay tuned. That's right. We'll chat at you next week. Ciao.
All right. Y'all have a nice day. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. That's right.
Happy holidays.
That's right.
Happy Merry Christmas yet, but I'm going happy holidays.
No. It's happy holidays. We're starting December 1st. I get to start saying that, baby. That's right. Amazing peeps. We'll chat at you all soon. Bye now.